Hi, Stephen. Great to see you. You're got a great project coming. It's Oceans of Hope Challenge, charity based in the UK, but you're, I suppose, bringing it to Ireland. So could you tell us a little bit about it first?
Sure, thanks for yeah, it's great, great to talk to you. Yeah, thanks. I'd like to thank MS Ireland and Oceans of Hope for getting together to get this challenge started. Yeah, the concept is to get people with MS out of their comfort zone and trying something different. So what we're planning to do is we're planning a day of sailing in Dun Laoghaire. So we're going to take a yacht. It's a 36-foot yacht. We're going to take a group of people out sailing so they can experience a bit of a challenge and have a bit of a fun day and get to meet other people with MS in a new setting.
And who can do it? Like, so is it anybody with MS? Like, can they be, do they need a bit of experience or can they be complete beginner?
Yeah, anybody with MS, and you can be a complete beginner. Basically, we're going to take a yacht. There's going to be a professional skipper with us, and basically he'll do a bit of teaching, but he can sail the boat by himself if necessary. But what generally happens is everybody wants to help out,
Yeah.
so everybody gets a turn of steering the boat or pulling the sails in or whatever it is. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to do this, how do they contact you?
Well, what they should do is they should contact the info at oceansofhope.co.uk email address, and we'll then correspond back. So if you start with an email, it's the best place to start.
And what's your connections with Oceans of Hope?
Well, I suppose it goes back a couple of years ago. I was diagnosed with MS 5 years ago, and I suppose I was looking around at things to do that are positive. And I basically came across this group, Oceans of Hope, on their website, and I thought they were amazing. But it was actually during COVID, so there was very little going on. And basically, then last year they opened up a challenge in Greece, and they had a few other sailing events going on in the UK. And I was talking to my wife Irene. I was saying maybe I should go for a day sail in the UK, and she said, "Don't be crazy, sure. Go sailing in Greece if you can." So
Exactly.
that's a bit of a difference between sailing on the south coast of England and Greece. So yeah, so I put my name forward, and luckily I got accepted, and that's when the challenge really started. So yeah, I made my way out to Athens in Greece, and I joined the boat, and basically we sailed around the Greek islands for a week, and it was absolutely amazing. It really was
What islands
incredible.
did you go around?
And we left Athens and we headed south, and we went to a few Aegean islands, and eventually went to an island called Porus, and we stayed in Porus, and then we made our way back up. So it was great sailing. It was a couple of hours every morning, a break for lunch, maybe a swim off an island, sail on for a few more hours. It was amazing. Yeah.
But I'll put up a link to your podcast or to your blog because you describe it beautifully. Because meeting other people with MS and connecting with them and kind of being out of your comfort zone, like you said, it was life changing.
Yes, it was really because it was inspirational. I think everybody with MS knows that it's a real, it's like falling through a trap door. You're in a new world, and really, your self-confidence, who you are, and your confidence is really hit by it. So to spend some time with people who are further along the journey than you are, people who are just starting out, and to see how people learn to cope. Some people, have everybody's journey is different. Some people are really physically challenged, but are incredibly mentally strong. And to meet people like that. So and to see people then who can skipper a 50-foot yacht, who can take control of the boat, and be in charge, and how that builds people's confidence is just amazing. It really
Yeah.
is.
And sailing, I think, is a perfect thing. You're kind of in an enclosed area, so you have to talk to each other and get on with each other,
Yeah,
don't you?
it's like
But that's
it's
a
like a
good thing.
camping trip. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
except on a boat. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that's exactly it. So you have to. that trip is very different because you really are living on top of each other. You got to cook for each
Yeah,
other. You got to clean. You got to sail the boat. Everybody's mucking in together. And I suppose what it shows is that everybody wants to help everybody else. I don't know if that's a bit of a small thing to say, but in the end, everybody just wants to help each other, which is
exactly.
great.
And you
Um,
make friends out of it too, don't you? I think you're
Absolutely, yeah.
still in touch with people that you were on the boat with.
Yeah, yeah, I am, yeah. And hopefully, like we're planning another trip this year. This year we're going to Turkey.
Oh, wow.
So the same type of trip. So yeah, so really looking forward to that. So yeah, so Oceans of Hope Challenge, really, it's an amazing organization. It really goes back to the original Oceans of Hope was a boat, a
Yeah,
Danish boat that circumnavigated the world. They
yeah,
basically sailed around the whole world over a period of time, and it was sailed by people with MS to show the world, what people can do. And some of the people involved in that, Robert and Nicola in particular, um, came home and said, we need to do more. So they set up the Oceans of Hope Challenge, the Oceans of Hope UK, and have been uh, doing these journeys now for 10 years. And there's basically trips at the moment, they're all over the world. They've just
yeah.
come back. There's a trip in Mexico in January, planning a trip in Auckland, just sailing all the time in the UK throughout the whole summer, and planning a trip in Turkey at the end of the year.
And I heard you saying, hopefully this is the start of something special because this is the first one in Ireland, isn't it? The first time this has happened, but it's got great potential for the future, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is like a pilot scale study. Let's say we're going to try it out for a day and see how I go. I, Ideally, I'd love to have an event in Cork, an event in Galway, somewhere in Belfast. I know that it's sailing in the north of Ireland. So to be great to have this type of event happen all over the country.
Yeah,
And really, I mean, we have such ambitions. My ideal would be to take a boat from Dun Laoghaire and sail to Dingle because actually I'm living in Kerry, so yeah, and to go from Dun Laoghaire to Dingle and back, and to
exactly.
stop along the way and maybe meet people with MS in various different towns and bring them out.
I think it's important to emphasize that it's for all people. Like, it is an introductory course. I remember I was traveling, this was back in the 90s, and places like New Zealand, and you go down to the in the Marlborough Sound. I remember like going down to the boats and they'd be racing, and they were always looking for people to go in the boats, and it was a race, and that we started. It was two guys in the boat and me and my girlfriend, now wife, and like the race started like sailing boat, and then they were like, you don't really know what you're doing, do you? And I'm like, no, not really. But so then they just opened up beers and they cruised along, but it was such an amazing experience. And I did that a few different times in different places, and it really is the buzz of being on the water. You feel like you're bombing along, even
Hmm.
when you're going slightly. It really is freeing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, exactly that. And the thing about sailing the yachts, they're so practical for people with MS. They really are.
Yeah,
You know, uh, People have never been on a yacht like this. There's handrails everywhere. You know, it has a toilet on board. It's very comfortable, and everybody involved gets MS, understands that some people can be very tired, fatigued on particular days, and just everybody gets it. So it's a the two together, I think, are really incredible. Yeah.
so thank you so much. This sounds like just something very special. So I'll put the details for the where to email you in the comments so people can see that. So best of luck with it.
Thanks, William, for thanks for your time.